No, Joe. No, I don't think I will. I'm Charles Renton with my review of WWE Raw from the ToYeeta Arena in Ontario, CA. No, not Canada. California. California love. Ooh. 11,000 seating capacity, 8,600 according to WrestleTix, and they were raucous, they were rolling, they were yeeting, they were strolling. Yeet is a really stupid word, but then again, I don't understand slang, and you kids get off my goddamn lawn and yeet elsewhere if you want. Anyway, so yeah, this review is delayed due to the fact that I saw a special screening of Megalopolis. That review should be up. You can see how I felt about that. Francis Ford Coppola should be charged with war crimes for that movie. That's a little bit of a tease. But anyway, Joe Tessitore is doing great. You're doing amazing, sweetie. So, Dominic and Liv are riding a low ride. It's a low riding easy. There are two parts of the fucking faction, according to Kier. That's right, Judgment Day being a fucking faction. Isn't that right, Kier? Poor Kier, such a good guy. Had to get that out of the way. Now, in all seriousness, though, I can see why you're a fan of Liv, and Liv really has excelled. You've been on the Liv train. You've wanted other people on the Liv train, haven't you, Kier? Poor Kier. Again, Kier, such a nice guy. But no, Kier has been on the Liv train for a while. He's been hyping her. He's been talking about her. He's been praising her. And it's paid off. She's excelling here. So, they're about to get in the building. And then here comes Bronson and Braun Strowman are attacking each other still. Like they're pulling the championship wrestling from Florida thing. I forget who the participants were. It was talked about on Tales from the Territories. Nevertheless, so yeah, they're fighting. And then here's Liv and here's Dominic. And basically Liv talks about the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. The crowd's booing them. They're loud. They're raucous. And then here's Rhea, dear God in heaven. God, buddy is so lucky. Just so happy for both of them. But Rhea's knee is in question, but she says, no, I'm cleared. I don't think she said it like that, but I can't do the accent. I did a 33-minute video on Megalopolis, so you'll forgive me if I'm just a little bit not as energetic as normal. And also next week, there is a Regal Mystery movie, and if it is something I want to see, or I'm even kind of interested in seeing, next week's review may be delayed. I will say right now, December is probably going to be when I take a break and just focus more on movies and easing back a little bit before picking it up for the Netflix debut on January 6th. So they go back and forth. Basically, after Rhea says she's medically cleared, she says, Dominic, I have a message for you. You're going to be in a familiar position because you're always costuming the matches. You're always helping Liv. You're going to be behind bars. You're going to be up, suspended in a shark cage. Oh, and Liv, what I said earlier about not hitting you, I lied. She headbutts her. Liv took a great bump, and Rhea just hurling her head right there. She could headbutt me all she wants, and I'd thank her for it. I don't have issues, by the way. So then Zayn comes out to a pop, and we go to break, and then he takes on Kaiser. 21 minutes into the show, the bell rings. Sammy is over here. Kaiser and him had a decent enough match. And later, Sammy did fire back and won with the haluva kick. It was what it was. It wasn't a bad match. They did enough near falls to basically make you think that, oh no, suddenly Kaiser could get the victory. And they push off this Sammy and Gunther thing, but nevertheless. So here's Gunther, and he's pissed. He's like, you know what? You wanted this shot. How about tonight? How about tonight? I think it's about time I give you your shot. Except, no, I'm not going to do that. That's basically what he says. Now I think it's to the point where, like, okay, are we going to have it at Bad Blood, or are we just going to push it for, like, they could announce it next week, and I guess they've kind of built it, but whatever. Here's Kofi and Xavier and him air out their dirty laundry. Kofi talks about, oh, look, I brought out these bootios, and a giant bootio, and the trombone, and Xavier's like, well, that was fine when we were the champions, but we got to be more serious here. And Kofi says, you know what? I've been making a lot of decisions. How about you call the shots? And then American Made show up. And they do some bad comedy. Remember when American Made actually could have been a decent stable and they pretty much torpedoed them with the Wyatt feud? I remember that. So, I know there are people who like them, and I'm not saying they're not good athletes, but just, good lord. Comedy that just was stale a while ago. Package on Jey Uso. Pierce yells about Dominic and Liv. Excused, by the way, if I'm, a little bit off or whatever. I do apologize. That decision is final, and then Commissioner Foley hits somebody with a gavel. So, here's Ilya. Balor isn't there, but maybe he'll face JD at some point. The headbutts might split the universe. Dragon Lee then beat Carlito in about 90 seconds. That was about 89 seconds longer than the match needed to be. And Cross and Miz having a possible feud or partnership. Dear God, what did I do to deserve this? Kathy is with Sheamus. Jesus, Kathy. Good Lord. Call him Butch Chance. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. And I don't want to make this an English and Irish thing, but I'm making this an English and Irish thing. Here comes Bronson, and The Miz didn't start, by the way, because Braun Strowman attacked, and Miz was pissed, and security got beat up for a while. They had a lot of enhancement talents being security there. And Pierce is pissed. There was a double tsunami to a couple of the security guys. A superplex got stopped. More security got destroyed. It was what it was. So, I don't know. It is what it is. So basically, the guitarist for Tool was in the crowd. Adam Jones, I think was his name. And old Mark Dirty Sanchez was in the crowd as well. Here's Drew to talk about Punk. Our families don't want this to happen, but it has to happen. It has to end. My wife wants me to move on from you, but I can't. I will make you bleed. Hell in a Cell took stuff from me that still has not been repaired, but you are just as beat up, and I'm going to beat you up even more. I'm going to make you bleed a lot. All this. It was what it was. It was a standard promo. At least he was fired up. They've done everything that they can do. They have to basically just end the feud here at Hell in a Cell. You can always pick it back up. Because Seth Pheasant Rollins at some point will be back, but I don't think he should be back before November. But good enough. It was a good enough promo for what it was. And then Jack Hughes talking to Pierce. Pierce basically says it's going to be last monster standing. And Pierce says, excuse me, I'm hearing violence over there. Jack Hughes like, all right. And then Pete is choking Sheamus with his big lengthy wood. Man, don't call him Butch, but call him Hung, I guess. I don't really know where I was going with that. It's late. So, yeah, it's going to end up being a cricket bat on a pole match, isn't it? Damn you, Russo. Isla and Alba make their entrance, and good Lord, Isla, good Lord. So then we have Io and Bianca jaw-jacking back and forth. God, I really need to word things better. Kyrie's there, and also Jade. That's all you're going to get. I'm sorry. So we're getting a rematch soon at some point. Then we got Alba and Isla against Io and Kyrie. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was necessarily a world beater. But it was fine for what it was. There was an elbow outside Alba while Isla, got moonsaulted by Io. I would love to be, under Io like that. I don't know what man wouldn't. I'm sorry, I can't help it, because Io is not only an incredibly athletic woman, but look at her. How could you not appreciate her? So that being said, really quickly, apparently Isla put up a thing about, and I think I might have mentioned this in another review, I might have mentioned it last week, that don't tear down other women to praise her, or don't praise her by tearing down other women. And people got on her to the point she left Twitter. I don't know if she's still on there or not, or if she came back. Guys, don't fucking do that. Seriously, don't fucking do that. If you're a fan of somebody, just let them be. Unless they're a piece of shit. Like, run Jericho, the Bucks, and other people off of Twitter, and people like that. People that donate to the wrong people, and people that believe the wrong things and everything. You can bully them all you damn well want. But decent people, let's not do that. So, the Viking Raiders are coming back. Yay. I really don't care. So, as far as I'm concerned, Sarah Rowe can shart out another kid and keep sharting out kids and stay away. Smelly ass bitch. So anyway, Cody Roman thing. I did not review last week's SmackDown. I saw the Cody Roman thing. It was goofy. So, look, it looked impressive. it was goofy because Cody is too dramatic and too much of an actor. So they showed crowd signs. That was nice. Sammy wished Jay good luck. The New Day took on the Creeds. Chad interfered or tried to interfere, and Xavier beat him up for a while Kofi was laid out. And the Creeds beat him up and beat him. See, I would care about the Creeds, but they included them in that Wyatt feud, and I don't want to see them right now because the Wyatt stuff, I'm sorry, is poison. It's not wrestling to me. I know why they're doing it. I don't have anything against the people, but I hated it when they were doing it a few years ago. I don't like it now. Package on Priest and Balor. Priest is motivated. Him and Balor should have a pretty good match. And then another tape. God help me, I will never know peace. Saturday night's main event is returning at the Nassau Coliseum on December 14th. And then we get a package on the stud line. We get Shayna, we get Sonya, and then we get Zoe, who actually remembers when Roy Shire ran wrestling in California. She actually remembers when Ricky Dozan came over and was doing some tours there. She remembers the first cage match there. She remembers when the Cow Palace was built. Okay, I'm done. So, LWO tried to apologize to Xavier. Xavier knocks Ray, not being able to get through to his son. They're going to have a match next week instead of Ray versus Balor. And then Jay entrance through the crowd. We go to break. Package on Braun and Bronson. Those graphics were choices. And Samantha does great intros. Look, Steiner and Jey Uso worked hard. Great. They worked hard. They took people on a ride. Steiner made it look easy. When Jay isn't doing the hot dogging bullshit chop things, he can do all right. He has the crowd on his side. And that freaking Frankensteiner that Steiner does is nuts. And even did the apron jump, the jump from the apron onto the announcer's table. And Jay fired up. He had a nice barricade spot, or he had a nice spear and a splash 1-2. And then he would, get blasted by, he would get blasted outside, but then he would come back. He would eventually end up hitting his own super kick after Steiner tried to hit a spear. And then he hit his own barrier spear and then hit a spear and a splash in the ring 1, 2, 3. I would have kept it on Steiner. I mean, I'm sorry. But I guess, maybe it'd lose favor, but it's just my thing. It just got on Steiner. Yeah, Jay's been there for a number of years and he finally won first single gold. Hey, congratulations. I'm sorry. I know that Jay has his fans. And yeah, it can be character driven. He's not that good in the ring. He's not. But people are happy. Whatever. So yeah, next week, if I do review it, I plan to ease back a little bit, like I said, in the winter. But if I review it, it could be delayed because of the Regal Mystery movie. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.